Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, how you doing? How's your mama? How's your family? Today we got the GOAT, LucasTracyMMA. The UFC fights I don't want to see in 2025. I'm very, very interested in this one because there's some fights that I don't want to see in 2025. And usually me and Lucas were like that on the same wavelength. So it's always great. Like, comment, subscribe, hop in those comments. Let me know what fights you do not want to see in 2025. This is like the last. I recorded about 8 videos today. You probably seen this shirt in the last 8 videos. This is the last one of the cycle. I'm recording this on a Wednesday. It's Sunday. So when you're seeing this, it's Sunday. So I'm gonna sit back. We done. We made it to the finish line. Get in them comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Help out that algorithm. Share me. I'm gonna sit back. Let the GOAT take it away and react like only I could do.
That I don't want to see in 2025. We don't want them. All right? Well, I can't speak for everybody, but I believe that the matchups that I'm going to discuss in this video, a lot of them are likely matchups. And these are the sort of matchups that the UFC would make, maybe because, well, this guy's got star power, so we got to give him a title shot or whatever. But, I'm going to protest these potential matchups, and I'm going to say I don't want these. All right? I want this as an alternative, and I'll explain why. But we may as well just get into it. This is the first fight that I don't want to see in 2025, and that's Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira 2. Now,
I'm not itching to see it after Charles losing to Islam and then losing to Armand the way he lost. Now, we have seen Charles Oliveira tweak his style in his fight against Michael Chandler, but he's not going to go out there and actively shoot and probably secure takedowns against Islam or... You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at this one. I love Charles Oliveira, and any chance he gets at a title opportunity, I'm always for it. Same thing with DP. But I can understand how somebody who's not the biggest Oliveira fan wouldn't want to see it.
Now, if Oliveira goes on a crazy win streak and gets like a couple more wins, all right, and it's undeniable that he deserves a title shot, it doesn't matter who's a champion, of course, give him a shot. All right, Oliveira's on a 1-fight win streak. It's not really even a streak. All right, I know he's a big name. I know everyone loves Oliveira. I love Oliveira. I'm a big fan of Oliveira. But him beating Michael Chandler, patient Chandler, who basically put his back up against the fence, does not indicate to me that he's going to do that much better against Makhachev or that much better against Arman Tsarukyan, who's old. I mean, if Arman's holding the belt, that's another rematch I don't want to see either. At least not soon, okay? Chandler fought horribly. The way people beat Oliveira, Makhachev, Arman, is they put pressure on him, right? They walk him down. They shoot takedowns. Chandler backed up the whole time, and it's Michael washed up Chandler. So right off the bat, I don't want to see this fight because I don't think it's going to be that competitive. Yeah, he has a chance, maybe like a 20% chance, but, I don't see this Oliveira 3.0. But number 2, Islam Makhachev is coming up on his 4th title defense. If he beats Arman Tsarukyan in his next fight, that'll be the record for the most title defenses ever at lightweight, 4, which would be 5 title wins in total. And at that point, he would have an opportunity to move up a weight class. All right, as the record holder, most title defenses. What are you going to say? Defend your belt. Defend your belt, man. At that point, you can't really say that. All right, it's lightweight. All right, you keep defending your belt at lightweight. We gotta see him fight Charles again. No, we don't, man. At that point, let the man move up and go for GOAT status while he's in his prime before it's too late. I mean, listen, the other point that I want to make is this is going to be the 300th rematch. We've seen the Volk rematch. We're about to see an Arman Tsarukyan rematch, but at least that fight still feels fresh. Because they fought way back in the day when both guys were in the beginning of their career, and now they're different fighters. There's been a lot of time in between the first fight and the second fight, which is probably going to be in January. I'm going to give a prediction for that fight soon when the UFC actually announces it. But either way, this does not feel like a fresh matchup. I know that they were supposed to fight last year and they canceled it, but every time they book a fight and we have a whole buildup, it kind of feels like it happened.
That's kind of true.
Again, I don't think it's going to be that much different. Charles Oliveira always struggles with the brothers. We kind of just know that. Michael Chandler did not fight like Islam Makhachev or Arman Tsarukyan. Oliveira is only coming off of 1 win. I know we got the Dariush win. I get that. But we really have to build some of these contenders, especially the guys that have had title fights before.
And you got to think of the context when he beat Dariush, though. Like, a lot of people forget that because Dariush got starched in his very next match. He came back too soon. But A lot of people forget, man. Darius was looked at as a guy who, that's Islam stuff is test. That's gonna be Islam stuff is test. That's gonna be the guy who take the belt off Islam. It sounds crazy now, using hindsight, but that's the light that Beneil Darius was looked at. He was at a crazy win streak, and Oliveira just walked in and took it from him. Round 1, fucking demolished him. So
I don't want to see this fight after the Arman Tsarukyan fight if Makhachev wins. If Makhachev loses, we'll probably see the rematch with Arman. If he loses that, maybe if Oliveira gets another win, we give him a title shot. Or if Makhachev wants to stick around and Oliveira gets another couple of wins, we give him a title shot. But I just don't want to see him get one in his next fight, right? I know there's some people that don't like the narrative of Oliveira and Max Holloway. Like, some people I've heard really don't like that. When they're talking about people getting hyped for Holloway and Oliveira too, they're saying, dude, stop, man, stop. No one wants Oliveira to fight anyone other than Islam Makhachev. And it's like, bro, come on, man. The Max Holloway fight is actually interesting. That's a really fascinating matchup.
Yeah,
I know
crazy.
that's a rematch, but come on. The first fight was a fluke. That's actually a better fight for Oliveira. That's actually a huge legacy fight for him as well. And it's a pretty winnable matchup. So, I think that the Max Holloway fight would be a better fight for him. And for Islam Makhachev, if he beats Arman, which is a big if, then I'd like to see him move up. But let's get on to the next one. Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill.
I don't want to see that shit either, bro. I
Jamal
swear.
Hill fighting him again would be a rematch. Yuri Prochazka, a trilogy. I know Alex Pereira
You
saying,
can take Yuri
hey,
off the screen. That's
impossible.
It's never happening again.
You guys are going to have a chance, man. It's like, dude, it's Magomed or nothing else.
Yeah.
And let's not let this turn into the Gaethje, Chandler, and Poirier sphere, where it's 3 guys fighting each other and that's it. It's Alex Pereira, Hill, and Prochazka division, and that's it. Like, I know that
I can't do that
there's
shit,
some great
dude.
back and forths going on these days, and Jamal Hill is talking
Fuck
a
that.
lot.
I don't give a
Yuri
fuck what the media
Prochazka's
looking like. I don't
starting
give a
to pipe
shit. I
up
don't
as
wanna
well.
watch.
And Alex Pereira, he loves these matchups because they're all strikers.
Unless Jamal goes out there and actually styles on Yuri and is like, yeah, Alex, you beat Yuri like that, I beat him like this and even quicker. Yeah, that would be pretty
At a certain
crazy,
point, we're done with the Roundtrees, we're done with the Hills, and we're done with the Prochazkas. All right, I don't want to group Roundtree into this just because, he's not really in the picture right now, and he had such an amazing performance last time. I actually wouldn't mind seeing the rematch, we need to see the Magomeds first. All right, we got to see the Azamat and Mirzakhanov brothers first. Okay, we got to see some of these, even though Azamat's a striker, fresh matchups, but first Magomed. All right. And after that, let's just move him up to heavyweight because Alex Pereira's not a spring chicken. This guy's like 38 years old at this point. All right, one more fight against Magomed, move up and try to go for, GOAT status of the whole sport. But if he goes out there and he beats Jamal Hill or Yuri Prochazka,
it doesn't move the needle.
Especially Yuri Prochazka, because I'm saying especially Yuri as if he didn't, because the point that I'm making with Yuri is that, dude, that doesn't prove anything else. That literally does nothing for his legacy if he beats this guy again. And don't even stop! Revolt, beating Max 3 times. It's not the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Don't even start.
I agree.
You're saying beating him 3 times? What about Vulcan Max? What about Vulcan Max?
It ain't the
not
same.
the same, man.
I agree,
it's not the same. Max Holloway is always a tough opponent. He's always a tough opponent. Yuri Prochazka, he's just never going to beat Alex Pereira, bro. Ah, shit. I really shot myself in the foot with that one. But
that's funny.
Cox Business Fiber Internet delivers upload speeds just as fast as your download speed.
You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to fumble and bumble around my words right now because I got myself into that one. But either way, all right, it proves nothing. Woo! All right, actually, we're really gonna. I'm stumped right now because how are we gonna basically defend Volk's legacy? Holloway's a much tougher opponent, man. When there's competition involved, you know what? There's competition involved, and Yuri Prochazka, in order to be Max in the trilogy, would have to go on a crazy run. He'd have to get a 3-fight win streak. So let's see if he can do that, and then we'll talk. And let's see if we can go back in time with the time machine and make some of those other rounds competitive and have a little bit more intrigue added. But we won't. That's the difference. Either way, all right? It proves nothing for this guy to beat Yuri again. For him to beat Jamal, Jamal Hill is honestly starting to get us to buy into the whole, that was a cheat moment. That was a cheat moment. Because some people, they've heard it so many times. It's starting to sound like a broken record. I mean, of course it sounds like a broken record, but sometimes that broken record will convince you.
He never got me
Sometimes that
on
broken record
that.
will convince you and say, wait a second, I've heard it so many times. That's the only thing that I can think of these days. Maybe he's right. Maybe he did get caught off guard, even though he threw the first punch. Absolutely did not get caught off guard. But he needs to fight Magomed. I want to see Alex Pereira call for Magomed Ankalaev. Now, don't get me wrong, Pereira, I mean, you can't really blame him for just wanting to keep fighting striker after striker after striker after striker. You know, and just continue to up the highlights and get these big wins and the big paydays and whatnot. But even though it's a little bit harder to get that win money against Magomed, if he calls out Magomed Ankalaev, that's a really ballsy call out, even though he should just be booked to fight him already. But my point is, if he shows people that he wants that fight, that he's confident about it, then, I think that's going to really hype people up. But, yeah, I don't want to see him fight Hill or Prohaska next. Definitely not the fight after his fight with Magomed, if the Magomed fight happens either. I don't want to see him fight them after. All right? These guys are going to have to get a lot of wins to fight Alex again if they want to. All right? Unless Magomed's the champ. And we see a rematch between Magomed and Pereira loses the rematch. Then, okay, give Jamal Hill and Prohaska a title shot. But it's not about title shots. It's just I don't want to see them fight Alex anytime soon. So let's get on to the next one.
Hell
Apparently,
no.
there are some talks that Leon Edwards and Jorge Masvidal are going to fight. And that's a great fight. That's an amazing one. We all wanted to see that back in 2019.
Yeah, 5 years
Tried
ago.
to book it in 2021.
6 years ago.
And we're finally going to see it. I can't wait for this one. This is going to be a banger matchup. Jorge Masvidal versus Leon Edwards. This is going to be a really good fight. Leon Edwards versus Jorge Masvidal. Two great strikers. Listen, let's cut the BS. Leon Edwards should not be fighting anyone that's 2 years out of the cage and washed up. All right? It's not that Jorge took 2 years off like Chandler and he's going to come back washed up. No, he literally told us himself. He felt like that quarterback that can't throw a football anymore. In his retirement speech, all right? He was totally washed against Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns outstruck him easily.
It was his words.
I know Gilbert Burns has good striking, but Jorge looked lost. He's been out of the cage for 2 years. We know Jorge Masvidal is not a serious contender. And I just know if the UFC makes this fight, which they might, because there's a storyline of Jorge Masvidal punching Leon Edwards backstage at UFC London after he knocked out Darren Till. And, it's a big striking match. Who wouldn't want to see this? You cannot confuse me. You can't trick me. You can't trick me into being hyped for this shit. But you could just see the UFC, a striker's delight. Jorge Mad Dog versus Leon Edwards. Two of the baddest strikers in welterweight. Stop. Okay?
Yeah, give it a break.
This is not a super serious high-level matchup. It's a one-sided fight. Knowing Leon Edwards, it might even be boring. It'd be like a Nate Diaz fight. Everyone expected him to run through Nate Diaz and, 50-42 him. And he damn near 50-45'd him, except he lost the last round. It was actually 49-46. But my point is, he did just enough to win every round. Sure, he outclassed him, but in Leon Edwards fashion, that's just by landing 3 extra strikes per round or whatever. You're outlanding him by a hair. So Leon might even make this boring. No, we need Leon to fight good contenders like Jack Della Maddalena, the loser of Ian Gary, Shavkat Rakhmonov, Joaquin Buckley. We need Leon Edwards to fight someone that's in their prime. It would be a disgrace.
Yeah, bro. I want him to fight Ian Gary in London. Ian Gary said he's not taking that fight. He said he's not fighting.
Multiple title defending champion to fight a guy that's washed up in one fight after the fucking title fight. All right, that'd be pathetic. We don't want to see it. But the UFC might make it on a big fight night. And just knowing how much the UFC loves having a UK champion, they would just give him a title fight right after. Right? Someone pulls out, someone's not ready. Oh, no, we're going to give Leon Edwards a title fight after beating Jorge Masvidal. I don't want to see it. On to the next one. Justin Gaethje versus the Old Guard. We've got...
I disagree.
The Old Guard being represented by Dustin Poirier.
Poirier versus Gaethje 3.
Maybe we can even throw in Max Holloway into the mix. They would never book that rematch, so that's not even realistic. But I could see them doing
Gaethje versus Chandler is a good fight. I could see Gaethje's done. I don't know why you're trying to act like Gaethje's like this young guy and he's not a part of it all. No. Gaethje's the Old Guard too. Gaethje's with them. Gaethje is with them. Gaethje is with him. Gaethje's a fun fighter now. If he fights, it's a fun fight. And damn, I can't think of a funner fight than Gaethje versus Chandler 2 or Gaethje versus Poirier 3. So no, Lucas. No.
Versus Michael Chandler 2. I don't want to see it, man. I know that I was advocating for Poirier and Max Holloway, but to be fair, a lot of time has passed. All right, and the second fight was a little bit weird because Holloway was skinny fat, and he hadn't had that much time to prepare for it, even though people act like he only had 2 weeks, but he had like 6. So it's not like it was a super short notice fight. But, you know, it was kind of short notice. Not really, though. I actually don't like that narrative that it was like a super short notice fight, but Max was just skinny fat. He wasn't actually in serious lightweight shape. And sometimes lighter man skill is not enough. Sometimes you need a little bit of bulk combined with lighter man skill. Serious training camp combined with lighter man skill.
I mean, shit, it's not really lighter man skill because Poirier was a featherweight.
But Gaethje versus Poirier, sure, it's going to be a fun fight. I get it.
3?
I understand it. But let's see Gaethje, and it's not just because I want to throw Gaethje to the wolves, but let's see him fight a Beneil Dariush.
I don't want to see that shit.
Pimblett, because you know, Gaethje versus Pimblett, maybe not now, but definitely before Pimblett's last fight, people would say, oh, he'd get slaughtered. That is Pimblett. Pimblett would get slaughtered.
The Fed will print as much money as it wants. Unlike the U.S. dollar, gold has historic...
He doesn't want to smoke with Justin Gaethje, but now, I know that Gaethje is coming off of a KO loss.
Gaethje would light Pimblett up still. He would light his ass the fuck up.
Is severely weak, right? But of course he could outstrike Patty. That could be interesting. But Beneil Dariush, another guy, he's also coming off of a couple
Benny's
of KO
about to
losses.
retire, bro.
What's his chin looking like these days? Gaethje could easily knock him out. Probably would if it was a striking battle. But what if Beneil Dariush takes him down?
It's gonna sprawl that shit.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup for Beneil, but it's kind of a layup if he just gets one takedown. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
Justin Gaethje has had to prove that he's actually
nah, you're losing me here, Lucas. You're losing me here, game.
All right, his submission game, his submission defense. You know, even if Gaethje's ground game is lacking, no one really thinks he needs to improve on a submission game, but submission defense. Or if you really want to give him a striking matchup, give him Yair Rodriguez. All right, I just really want to see Yair in a striking battle. I'm done with Yair fighting the grapplers. I'm done with Yair fighting the well-rounded lighter man skill featherweights. Now, he's got lighter man skill too, but like, let's actually see Yair striking in a striking division. I know that not everyone at lightweight is a striker, but like, we have some of the most marquee striking matches ever. And if you want to give Yair Poirier, give him Poirier. You want to give him Gaethje, give him Gaethje. I know that the UFC won't do it though, because Yair's not a big enough name, even though you just know Yair versus Gaethje, Yair versus Poirier, even though it doesn't make sense, who gives a shit if it makes sense or not? It's a sick fight. It would be amazing. Even though it doesn't make sense, it would be amazing.
But it got to make sense.
All right, and I want to see Yair in a striking-only battle, but that's what I'm saying. I don't want to see Gaethje fight Chandler again. I don't want to see Gaethje fight Poirier again. All right?
I definitely do.
The amount
Chandler,
of
not
times
so
that
much,
these guys have fought each other.
but it'd be fun as fuck. Poirier 3, I feel like that's one you can't leave on the table.
Is just insane. All right? I've seen these guys. I've seen their faces on the same billboard far too many times. Okay? Far too many times. Let's get on to the next one. Petr Yan and Sean O'Malley 2 before Yan fights for the title.
Yes.
Now, this is one of those where I actually
5 rounds. Wait. Whoa. I missed it. I thought this was... No, fuck that, Lucas. Fuck that. We need to see Sean versus Yan 2 for 5 rounds, 25 minutes, main event or co-main event. That is what we need to see. That's going to determine the next number 1 contender. Yes, that is what we need to see.
It was an amazing fight.
Yes.
A 5-round rematch would be even better.
That's what we need to see.
There's a bit of a storyline where
for number 1 contender.
At 1.5, Yan would have whooped him. So let's actually find out for real, right?
Yan beat him in 3.
I don't want to see it next, okay, is because you just know. Look at this photo right here. You just know there's a great chance that if Yan actually wins that, like he did the first time, even though it was close, I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't close, but if Yan actually deserves to get his hand raised, can you take another Yan robbery? I can't. I've seen too many.
I wouldn't be able to.
Even though I've only seen one. Right? I kind of count the Aldo 1 fight as a bit of a robbery, but he robbed himself. The Aldo 2 fight, even though that wasn't a robbery, it kind of just feels like what I'm saying is I can't take another Yan disappointment to the judges. All right? I can't take another. And you just know the UFC would love any chance they get to give O'Malley a win. if it's close. And I want to see Jan get that belt back, man. As much as this fight would be awesome, and I actually think Jan has a good chance to win in a 5-rounder.
I think he won the third rounder.
Odds would be too cruel to give him that win. And you may
I
say,
think
well,
5 rounds. I think 5 rounds will make it even more. Oh shit! Hold on, I'm sorry. I think 5 rounds will make it even more decisive because it's like, damn. Yeah, we know that Sean O'Malley is much better with his cardio nowadays. He ain't gonna fade hard. But Peter Yan's just gonna get better and better and better and better and better. Oh man! And he makes so many good adjustments, and he mixes it up so beautifully. And you have to respect all facets of his game.
Those are nightmare matchups, and I agree they are nightmare matchups. But imagine if he becomes a champion again. Imagine if he gets that belt back. Imagine if he beats Merab, who in my opinion has the best bantamweight legacy of all time. He just does. There's really no argument against it. He just does. Imagine if he beats Merab. He's the bantamweight GOAT. Imagine if he beats Umar. If Umar beats Merab.
This is a bad
bantamweight GOAT. Umar would finally get a big
strictly
legacy
off the
win,
stances.
even though he already has Sandhagen. That would be a second, to be fair. But yeah, I want to see Jan, a healthy Piotr Jan, go into a Merab fight because I actually think he would do a lot better. I don't think he'd beat Merab. I don't think he'd beat Umar, but I think he'd do better. I don't want to see him in a close decision fight with O'Malley where he could potentially get fucked over.
Fuck it, if
it's close, which it probably would be.
That was highway robbery.
On to the next one.
It was close, but he lost.
I want to see Jan fight for the belt next. Jose Aldo versus Dominic Cruz. I don't want to see this for Dominic Cruz's stake.
Yeah, I don't really want to see that either.
I don't want to see it because of the...
Jose Aldo's still high level to this day. Dom's just not. And he's not durable anymore. Dom probably get KO'd.
The 100% chance that Dom
ain't fought in so long, too.
Cruz cannot win this fight via finish. And if Dominic Cruz cannot win this fight via a finish, he can't submit Jose Aldo. I mean, good luck taking him down, let alone submitting him. Dominic Cruz's legendary submission game, I don't know about that.
This is free money.
And Dominic Cruz's power. I know Aldo's been finished a couple of times, but Dominic Cruz, he's got pillow punches, all right? He's got the peppermint punches.
I don't really want to see Dom fight again.
He would 100% get finished by Jose Aldo. I know that there's a legacy-defining moment. I understand it's a big legacy matchup, 2 GOATs, but like, come on, dude.
Yeah,
let's
I wouldn't
give
be able to
Jose
take it
Aldo
serious either.
Someone
and
else.
I love Dominic
Let's
Cruz.
do Aldo versus
Dominic Cruz is one of my favorite fighters
one
ever.
of the gritty, crafty vets, one of the durable vets, or Aldo versus Sandhagen, right? Although I want to see Sandhagen versus O'Malley. And I'd like to see Sandhagen versus Figueiredo. Do Aldo versus Sandhagen. That's a great fight. Sandhagen's not taking him down, and he'd be forced to strike with him. It'd be a good striking battle. But I just know Dominic Cruz has no chance to win this. And why would we want to see Dominic Cruz's last fight? Because he is talking about coming back in 2025. What would get you excited about a Dominic Cruz fight when you just know that he's going to get finished and he's going to get beat? He has no chance to win this. I mean, when I say no chance, I understand he's Cruz. He's a dominator. He can slip, dip, and rip.
Not no more.
But come on, man. Aldo's fast. He'd probably get chinned. I want to see Cruz in a fight that he can actually win, all right? Or against someone that's not that dangerous. Maybe even a Garbrandt 2 matchup. That'd be fun. Maybe give him the chance to get that one back. Next up, we have Anthony Hernandez versus anyone outside the top 8 at 185. I'm tired of Anthony Hernandez fighting the Pifers.
You cooking, Joe?
But fighting the Kopilovs, the Pereiras, the Pifers. Because these are all extremely tough matchups. These are like the best unranked fighters on earth. And 85 right now, 185 might be the best division. It might be the deepest division, especially when it comes to unranked fighters. There's a ton of amazing unranked fighters.
He's cooking.
All right, and now he's just got ranked in the top 15. What are we going to make this guy fight Hermanson? We're going to see him fight Pifer. We're going to see him fight Vettori. It's like Anthony Hernandez has been dominating people so well that he deserves a chance at someone that's like a Jared Cannonier, all right?
Yeah.
Or maybe an Imavov, all right? I know they're probably going to do the Imavov versus Adesanya fight, but I want to see him fight someone that's very close to the top 5, that puts him in a position to fight for a number 1 contenders fight, that puts him in a position to fight a guy like Robert Whittaker or a guy like Sean Strickland, because, you know, what's this guy going to have to beat?
Lucas is cooking.
10 amazing unranked fighters and then 10 amazing ranked fighters to get a belt. He would have crazy legacy, without even being a champion. So, yeah, I mean, we got to see him fight someone that's actually close to the top 5. All right. And last, I don't want to see MVP or Wonderboy. And you may as well just throw Yair Rodriguez in the mix as well. I don't want to see these guys.
I'm not giving Yair a pass. I'm not giving Yair a pass. You're not an old vet. Just here for fun fights. No. I'm not giving Yair a pass, Lucas, like you are. But Wonderboy and MVP, yes. Let's start giving them fun fights. Fun striking battles. Crowd pleasers.
Any grapplers. All right?
Because we know they ain't getting to no belt.
Maybe one more fight. MVP is old too.
MVP thinks he's going to get to a belt. Fights. You ain't getting to no belt, brother.
He's had the test. He's had, I mean, not really, though, because he's not really fought any grapplers,
he
right?
Hasn't.
I mean, Ian Gary can grapple, but we were thinking that would have been a fun striking battle. But don't give him anyone that has a plan to be a champion that's actually well-rounded, all right? Give him a fun striking battle.
Yeah.
And not a JDM either. I don't want to see MVP fight JDM and have like a Kevin Holland 2.0 fight.
Give him a Roman Kopylov.
A little bit lackluster. I want MVP and Wonderboy to fight each other. And if that's not realistic, then fuck it. Move MVP up to 185 and have him fight Sean Strickland. Okay?
Sean Bullock.
Lighter man skill. Let's see how he does. Let's have him fight a high output striker that has an ego and won't shoot a takedown ever. Right? Remember Khalil Roundtree going into the Pereira fight? Never shot a single takedown. I want MVP and Wonderboy to fight people like that. Because we're only going to see them fight a couple more times. Wonderboy maybe only one more time. And we may as well see them
Don't give Wonderboy no fucking Colby
show
Covington,
us their best skill set and not get held down by a smart grappler. Okay? So, yeah. Let's see these guys in a stand-up battle. Again, Strickland. I don't want to see Whitaker get chinned right now, but Strickland. Maybe the rematch, Whitaker and Wonderboy, but you just know Whitaker probably takes him down, right?
Yeah.
Whitaker's one of those 85ers that could cancel out the lighter man skill because he's actually truly elite. Only the truly elite fighters can sometimes cancel it out a bit.
But Skinny Knuckles was
but in the
was 170 as well.
But yeah, let's see MVP versus a Carlos Prates, right? Or a Wonderboy versus a Prates. Although he'd probably
don't do
chinned.
Prates. Don't do Wonderboy Prates.
MVP
and Prates.
Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what fights you don't want to see in 2025. Until next time.
Yeah, let me know what fights y'all don't want to see, man. That was a good video by Lucas. Pretty good video. Get on down in the comments. Let me know what fights y'all don't want to see. Like, comment, subscribe, share this. Help out that YouTube algorithm. We growing. Road to 1K. Welcome aboard. You ain't got to go home. You got to get up out of here, man. Yeah.